starring Johnny Carson. This is Jack McFadden along with Doc Severinsen and the MPC Orchestra inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Bob Hope, comedian Jimmy Tingle, and Ellen Green. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Couldn't this wait till I got home from work? I want to thank you for coming in on a day like this. This really stinks. So thank you. Did they make you stand outside? No, they didn't. Really? I thought for a moment you'd decorated the place for Christmas, but you just hung your wet socks up over the applause sign. I think you should know. I think you should know as I'm doing the monologue, I am making a list of who's naughty and who's nice. The nice ones go home, the naughty ones come to my house to party. It's not going to be 2 nights in a row. Let me explain. Last night... Let me explain last night. You sound really nice tonight. I mean that, and I love you. God, I love you. Last night's audience was... I don't know what happened. It was... You see this spot here? You can still see the chalk outline of my body. You Bless you, bless you, bless you. Oh. I had a rough night, right?
Yes.
Give you an idea, after the monologue, I got a condolence call from Barry Minkow. It was a nice group last night, but their straw didn't go all the way to the bottom of the eggnog. To give you an idea how tragic it was last night, after the monologue, Mr. de Cordova actually went through my wallet looking for my organ donor card. And then I understand the same audience last night at the show went over to a Salvation Army band and tipped over their kettle. No. You don't mean that. I mean, if the stealth bomber could drop bombs that quietly, it would be worth every cent we paid for it. Anyway, I thank you for coming. I want you to know if things start to lag, it could be worse. You could be standing online at Toys R Us. Have you been into... Have you ever seen some of the part-time Christmas help they have at Toys R Us? It makes you wonder why Arafat had so much trouble getting an entrance visa. I don't understand it at all. Well, I guess at this time of the year, everybody is thinking pretty much of the same thing. Whatever happened to the cow sills? But things are getting in the Christmas mood out here in California. Yesterday I went to the mall out here in the valley and saw 200 very excited little boys lined up to sit on Cher's lap. Christmas, I'm going to tell you folks, Christmas is different in California. Last night my gardener stood under my window and played Silent Night on his leaf blower. And have you been in Beverly Hills? Some of you from out of town? Did you go to Rodeo Drive? You may have noticed they're having a Christmas campaign to help the homeless there. Of course, in Beverly Hills, they consider the homeless those who haven't cleared escrow. This is it's a rough time of year for Ed. You ought to see his Christmas card list. You see, Ed sends out these millions of letters saying you may have already won. last night, Victoria, who is Ed's wife, told Ed he should do something nice during the holidays for somebody who's fallen on hard times, right? So Ed went out and bought a fur coat for one of the girls who lost the spokesmodel competition on Star Search, which was a wonderful. But last night I decked the halls. Mr. and Mrs. Hall, they're my neighbors. They came over there. They were caroling under my window. I decked them. I don't know, Christmas is a nice time, but too many Christmas specials, don't you think, on television? Every show. Hello? Eddie, don't you think? Every show tries to work out a Christmas special. I watched this week's episode of Beauty and the Beast. Did you see that? And Vincent got his feelings hurt real badly because he gives Catherine a ring for Christmas, and she gave him a giant litter box. I got a warm Christmas card from my newspaper boy. It said, if you've already sent me a gift, ignore this notice. So I delivered his Christmas present the same way he's been treating me the past years. I drove by his home about 4 in the morning, 60 miles an hour, and threw it into a puddle. I'm getting a little sick also of those animated cartoon specials. Aren't you? Wouldn't you love to see Garfield flattened on the freeway? Marlo Thomas had a Christmas special the other night. Did you see it? Had a surprise ending. At the end of the show, Marlo took off her wig and a dress and turned out to be her husband, Phil Donahue. I mentioned Barry Minkow earlier. Have you been following that case? He's the young founder of the ZZ Best Carpet Company. Apparently they found him guilty of fraud and sentenced him. I mean, he found guilty, he could get 400 years in prison. Now, that isn't the worst part for Barry Minkow, I understand. The worst part was that grilling he got from Doug Llewellyn out in the hallway. Doug Llewellyn, you see, works on people's court. And talks to the people after Judge Wapner has decided their case, and they finish there and they go out in the hall. Doug Llewellyn talks to them. I wish I was out in the hall. Anyway, here's a little... One more, and then we'll plunge ahead with the show. Did you read about the theft at the Dutch Museum of 3 Van Gogh paintings? 3 of them, yes, worth millions and millions. And coincidentally, the same night that the thieves broke into that Dutch museum and stole the Van Gogh painting, somebody broke into the Burbank Museum and stole the painting of Vanna White on black velvet. Okay, you can stay. Tonight, Mr. Bob Hope is with us. Young comedian Jimmy Tingle is with us. And marvelous actress Ellen Green. So stay where you are and